couple things I want to alert you to why I think the water softener is not softening any longer, especially it's very obvious on plastic items. Like there's just, my water's very hard, so there's a lot of white, it's probably like calcium or something, I don't know what it is, but anyways, you're gonna have a film on all your stuff. I mean, my glasses might look okay. Here we are at the water softener again. I've made several videos about different issues as to why you might not have soft water if it suddenly seems to be not working anymore. This one, as I start all my videos, one thing to check, especially if you have, you know, kids around and this and that. And first thing to always make sure is that your water softener is actually, it's in service. This valve again, if it's pushed in, it's in a bypass mode, so you're not going to get any soft water. So make sure it's in the service mode. In normally for this type of softener, in it's in bypass, out it's in operation, it's ready to go. That's the first thing to check. Now, the next thing that's very common, especially after a year or two or whatever, let's just take the lid off. It just lifts up. There's two things that can be happening in here. Now, I purposely raised the water level in here. It's way higher than what it should be. But I wanted to show you, you can see the water level in there. Normally you have your water softener salt is way above the water. And what happens is that it gets jammed up in there basically, and a dome forms. And the salt doesn't go down into the water anymore. That's called I think it's actually just called a salt dome. And to resolve that is pretty easy. Just get a stick. Hopefully your softener's not right full of salt, you know, right at the top here. But if you get a broom handle or a stick, force it down through the salt and break that dome, and it will all drop down into the bottom of the tank and into the water. As I say, normally the water's not this high. It should only be about, you know, 4 inches in there. But I kind of wanted to explain that the salt basically forms a dome up above the water, and the water just sits down there. Now, in my case, my most recent issue, I've had that salt dome issue, by the way, but the next one that I had was, I've always kept my softener so full of salt because I'm the kind of guy that I like to leave my gas tank full, which is a good thing in a car. Maybe not so good in a water softener, because what happens is that it never gets a chance to dissolve all the salt out. So in future, I'm not going to fill my softener up right full anymore, or maybe occasionally I'll fill it up full, but I'll let it run right dry so all the salt gets taken out of the system. And why I say that, what happens is that the salt dissolves and it kind of turns powdery in the bottom, and it turns into a big mass of really dense salt, which is not a good thing. And if that happens, I'll show you how to fix that. Just move back here a bit. What you need to do, if that happens, of course, you're gonna have, if your softener's all full of salt and the stick thing didn't work breaking a salt dome, then it might just be all compacted down at the bottom. What I'm gonna use, I went to the store, and this is just a paint mixer end attached to your drill. And what I'm going to do is, you know, I'll put this down and just start, just like you're mixing up some paint. Get the drill going and start pressing down and break up that solid block of salt in there. Now you might have to do this a few times, through a few cycles, and keep doing that until basically the softener, you know, however it generates, how often, it eventually uses up all that block salt that's down there. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like here. It's probably going to be hard to see because I can't hold my flashlight and my drill at the same time, and the camera. So if you do think you have a big solid block down there, you just take your drill and put it down in there. And mine is very solid, so your drill, if you have a cordless drill, make sure it's charged up good. Just start drilling down. you can tell like it's pretty solid. So I'm just breaking it up in there. Go into a few different spots, a few different areas, and drill down again. So there you have it. That's all there is to it. Do a little bit more mixing up, break that up a little bit more. And I don't know, I guess in future I'm not gonna fill this thing like right up anymore. I'm gonna actually let it sort of run out of salt, well, maybe not every time, but you know, a couple times a year. Just to make sure it gets all cleared out. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and I think it is. So have a great day, and hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, I have other videos that address no soft water, or your water softener is not working. I'll get the links in there in the other videos to get to, you know, the other diagnostics that I've done, and I think you'll find them very helpful. Anyways, have a great day.